Good morning and welcome to Real Talk with Claudia. I'm your host, Claudia Ellis of Claudia's Decor. And today we're talking about something that I struggle with. Habits of successful creators. That is something that I had a question like, what are habits that I need to have to be a successful creator? Like, what do I need to learn? What do I need to be in the habit of so that I too can be successful? So, right out of the gate, this is not something I've mastered. This is something I'm learning. Good morning, Shona. Because if I'm being honest, my struggle is not knowing what to do. It's not that. It's not the not knowing what to do. It's doing it consistently. That's my struggle. Hello and happy Wednesday to you, Miss Diane. With any luck, I'll be seeing you on Sunday. So let me just give you a little snippet and see if this is something that you can resonate with. If this is something that, like, hey, that's me. Doing it when I don't feel like it, anything business related, doing it when I don't feel like it, doing it when it's inconvenient, doing it when nobody's watching. Guys, there's nothing like hitting that live button. You got the guts. You're like, I'm going to do this. You do whatever it takes to hit that button, and crickets. You either didn't tell people you were going live because you didn't want the pressure of having to engage. You didn't know how you were going to be able to chat people up and create at the same time. Like, there's a whole plethora of things that you tell yourself, or the struggles that you tell yourself, and all of those things when hitting that live button. So to be a successful creator, you've got to do it anyway. You have to do it anyway. So today is not about learning something new. It's about looking at what we already know. Why we aren't doing what we're supposed to be doing. What is that habit that we need to create? What is that thing that we need to look at so that we can do it better? Okay. Let's start with consistency. Let's talk about what that means, because that sounds good, but what does it actually mean? Trust is built when people see you repeatedly. Think about the people that you trust. Think about the people that speak into what you're doing. What do you see them doing? They show up repeatedly. You feel like you have relationship with that person because you're watching them and they're showing up consistently. Trust is built when people know you're not going anywhere. Like, they can guarantee, they can trust that you are going to be there, that you are going to show up. Trust is built when your audience can count on you showing up. So that means when you say you're going to show up, when you say you're going to do something, you need to do something. You need to do it, regardless of how you feel. You can't be inconsistent in doing this. You need to show up, okay? It would be like having an actual physical store and saying, oh, I'm not opening today. How is that even possible? How is that even possible? You have to open, right? You have to open whether you feel like it or not. You're welcome, Danita. Trust is built when you say something and then you follow through, okay? If I say I'm going live and I don't show up, what happens? What happens when I say I'm going to go live and I don't show up? People are looking for you. People are looking for you, and that disappointment sets in. Oh, I was really looking forward to that. I was really looking forward to watching, or sometimes people like want to have that distraction from their own life, and if they can watch somebody creating something beautiful or they're learning something from you, That's like that emotional connection, right? So if you say you're going to go live and they're looking forward to it, and then you don't, what does that do to trust? Okay, so that's important. If I show up sometimes but not others, what happens? That trust needs to be built, and it's built on consistency. So here's what you can do, okay? My little note takers, this is what you can do. Pick a schedule. Pick something that you will be consistent with and show up whether you feel like it or not. Hi, Maria. So even if it's just once a week, even if it starts out with once a week, okay, you can be consistent at this time once a week, okay? Stick to it no matter what. Tell your audience when you'll be there. Show up when you said you would. Trust is not built in one post. It's built on repetition. It's that repeated action. It's that consistency, okay? Inconsistency creates confusion. People don't know what to expect from you. People forget about you. People assume you're not serious. People move on to someone who shows up more. Right? If you are working to build something, you have to be consistent. This is if you are an online shop, this is your open door. This is your welcome in. I'm open for business. This is come in. Come in. Let me know what I can make for you. How can I help you today? How can I help you make a beautiful home? What can I create for you? You know what I mean? That in itself builds trust and that connection. Okay? And that's important. Confusion sounds like, are they still doing this? Do they still sell? Are they coming back? That's what inconsistency does to the people that potentially depend on you or are your customer or you're starting to build trust with, okay? Don't disappear for long stretches. If life happens, adjust. Don't vanish. Keep a minimum baseline, even if it's one post, even if it's still connect with your audience. The followers, the people that actually clicked follow on you, they see something they like that they want to see more of. So if you stop showing up, if you stop with your consistency, if you stop doing what they actually signed up for, you lose that person. And the more you grow, the more you show up, the more sales will come. More sales will come because you're building a trusting community. People can trust that you're going to show up. Okay? Consistency says, I'm here. Inconsistency says, maybe I am, maybe I'm not. People need to see you repeatedly. People are not watching everything you post. The algorithm doesn't show your content to everyone. And people need reminders. Oh yeah, she still does this. Oh yeah, I remember watching her. She was awesome. I'm glad she's back. Is she staying? See, that trust factor. Familiarity builds comfort. Okay? And comfort builds trust. Good morning, Candy. You think you're repeating yourself, but most people are seeing you for the first time. So you may think, oh my gosh, I am posting all the time. People are going to get sick of me. That's actually not true. It's the opposite. If the algorithm is messed up, like you could be posting tons and tons of stuff, but because of how the algorithm works, people may never see you. Isn't that crazy? So keep posting, keep showing up. It takes 7 times of somebody saying something before, or seeing something before they even pay attention. Hey, Wildflower LA. Before they even pay attention, 7 times before that even clicks in somebody's head. Why do you think commercials work? Why do you think commercials work when people are watching TV? Even if during commercial time they would get up and go do something else. That's why commercials work, because it's that repeated thing. Somebody made a post this week about like, what are the commercials that you remember from like your childhood that still click in your head? And that made me think, you know what? It does take repeated action and people seeing you consistently before they say, oh yeah, I know her. She's always on here. She's always creating. She's always doing. Guys, it matters. It matters. If you're not showing up for you or for your business, people forget about you. And you know how I know? Because it happened to me, because I did that. I was so busy building my group that it was too much to split my focus. And guess what suffered? My business. But that's on me. But I learned through that, and I'm back and I'm learning consistency, and that's why I'm sharing it with you. Not from a page of, hey, I got it figured out. No, I did the opposite. I did the bad. I did the wrong. And that's why I'm here. And I'm like, I'm learning, so I'm going to learn, and you're going to learn with me, okay? Hi, Miss Sarah. You're going to learn with me. Don't do what Claudia did. Do this and stay consistent. You can do it. You just have to form habits. Remember our title, Habits of a Successful Creator. This is why we're talking about this, okay? So the algorithm doesn't show you to everybody. People need reminders. Familiarity, gosh, these words are hard, builds comfort, right? And comfort builds trust. That's what we want. You think you're repeating yourself, but most people are seeing you for the first time. And that's true on all platforms. So talk about the same product that you have multiple times. People need to see it multiple times. How many times? Multiple. Minimum of 7. Okay? Minimum of 7. You can post about the same item several different ways. You can post about making the item. You can even go one step further and post about gathering the items you're going to use, right? You start with your base, you start with your materials, you start with what gave you the idea, what inspired this design, and then you can show how you make the design, then you can show how it looks on the front door, you can show how you would pack up that item. There's so many different ways that you can promote one item, but you have to do it over and over and over again. And by going live and filming yourself, and having that there for you, you can pull snippets. That you can use from that live. But Claudia, I'm scared to go live. Forget the people that are watching you. They don't matter until they matter. Until they engage and until they're watching and until they're shopping. You need to do this for your business. So pretend like when you hit that live button, you're just opening the door to your shop. Come in. Come join me while I make this. Come watch me make this. Ask your questions. Engage with your audience. I promise you that is the way to have successful lives, okay? Repeat your message in different ways. Don't be afraid to say it again. Do not worry about people's judgment. Friends, I'm telling you, people don't care about what you're doing as much as you think they do. They really don't. They don't care. Not only that, but it's keeping you from doing what you need to do. Hi, Liz. It's keeping you from what you need to do. So don't worry about what people are or are not doing. They're not doing your business for you. You're doing your business. Okay? So repetition, this is a mindset. Repetition is not annoying. It's necessary. It's necessary. Yes, I'm going to post about this item that I absolutely love that I just made. And yes, you have to see it because it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, and it needs a new home. That's what you need to think about. That's how you need to show up. Okay. You are training your audience how to expect you. If you show up daily, they expect you. If you go live weekly, they look for you. If you disappear, they stop checking. They stop checking. Your audience learns your behavior. Ask me how I know. I did it bad. I'm telling you, I did not do it right. I didn't do it right. I focused on a certain group of people and poured all of my attention and everything else into them because that's what I felt I needed to do. That was my people pleasing. That was my people pleasing. I was trying to build a group. I was trying to get them to go live and do all the things. I did it wrong. I pulled away from myself and gave to others. Okay. You can't give from an empty cup, my friends. So if you're not pouring into your own cup, if you're not filling your own cup to overflowing, you cannot pour out to others. Okay. So I did it wrong. Don't do it like me. I'm telling you how to do it right for yourself. Okay. I'm telling you how to do it right for yourself. And it's not that I don't show up for my community because I still do. I'm just rebuilding it because that community fell apart. See, that's the other thing that I learned. Do not give so much of yourself that you empty yourself out. Okay. Because what happens is they walk away and you're left with nothing. You're left with nothing. So learn from me. Don't do that to yourself. You can do for your business first, and then pour out into others. Okay. So I learned that. So listen to Claudia. I learned that. Okay. Your audience learns your behavior. So be predictable. Same time, same days. Create a rhythm. Create a rhythm. Okay. The reason for that rhythm: morning posts, weekly lives. That means you're accountable. People can trust you that you're going to show up, that you're going to be there. People currently trust that I'm going to show up on Fridays for Real Talk. So they look for me. I let my community know that I wasn't going to be here Friday. I'll be traveling. I'm going to Pigeon Forge. I'm going to go get my cup filled. And how do I fill my cup? I'm going to go be with 10,000 women in a room called Women of Joy. And I'm going to be with my Jesus, my sisters in Christ, and I'm going to be praising the Lord because that's how I fill my cup. And you don't have to do it the same way that I do. But whatever fills your cup, go get it filled. Go get it filled. Okay? Whatever that is for you. All right? Momentum only builds when you keep going. Okay? So let's define momentum. What is momentum? It's when things start to feel easier. It's when showing up becomes natural. It's when your confidence builds. Once you start doing the things regularly and you start seeing the return of you having momentum, it just becomes easier. It just becomes easier. It starts when your audience starts recognizing you. Imagine your audience starting to recognize you. Imagine going to a place where you're meeting with other creatives, right? You're going to a wreath retreat or a retreat of any kind, and people actually come up to you and say, "Hi, Claudia. I've been watching you. I love how you design. It's so nice to meet you." Hello. Be recognizable. You are your business. Your face is your brand. Okay, what you're creating, what you're making, all those things. Think about all the people, all the things that you follow, all the things that you do. Okay, that becomes your brand. I need to mute this because I forgot to. Okay, so show up for your business. Open your door. Okay, that door that you're opening, open that door, show up, show people who you are, because so many people in this community, I mean, talk about kind, thoughtful, caring. They want to see you win too. They want you to win as well. They want you to show up for yourself. There's nothing like having a business with all the cha-chings, with all the cha-chings, with all of those sales coming in, because people are going to decorate their homes, friends. People are going to want a wreath on their door that welcomes people into their home. They like to pull up to their house and see how beautifully welcoming their home looks and how warm it is. It's an expression of how they feel. Okay. So you want to be the one that provides that feeling for them. Let's see. Okay. Stopping resets your progress. Every time you start and start over, you lose visibility. You lose confidence. You lose rhythm. It's like going to the gym for a week and then stopping. That's not going to get the results that you're looking for. That's not going to get the results. Anything that you stop and start and stop and start, that's not going to get you the results you're looking for. So remember, when you're ready to show up, it does not matter how often it is. It just has to be consistent. If you're like, I can't show up every day, then don't. Show up how you can show up. Something that is sustainable for you, even if it's once a week. Because you can do the hard things. You can. You can show up for your business. But do not step away. Because when you're not showing up and people aren't seeing you, they forget about you. Okay? If you miss a day, don't miss two. Get back on track immediately. Don't let one bad day become a bad week. Progress doesn't disappear, but momentum does. And here's the thing that I mean about don't let one bad day become a bad week. Guys, I'm not trying to do rainbows and puppies for you. It's not all rainbows and puppies, okay? There are going to be hard days. And sometimes if you take a hard moment or something that happened that wasn't good and look at it for what it is, it's something very small. Do not focus on that bad moment. Feel what you're going to feel, because we're human, we're going to have feelings. Feel what you're going to feel, but then understand that tomorrow's a new day. Even the next breath you take is a new moment. Don't let a bad moment steal your joy. Your joy is a choice, okay? It's different than being happy. Happiness is different than joy, okay? Joy is deeper. Joy is finding the joy even in the bad moments, even in the bad situations. If we're going to be transparent here, let's just go for it. My first year of business, the very first year I had business, I had the most sales that year. I had the most sales in my Etsy shop that year because I wasn't overthinking things. Because I wasn't overthinking things. I was just showing up. I was excited that people wanted to buy from me. So I was showing up for my business. Okay? And then I was like, okay, I need to have other like-minded people that I surround myself with so that we can talk about the business aspects, so that we can talk about the things that we had to figure out on our own. Because if you don't know the questions to ask and you don't know how to find things, Google doesn't help you. It just doesn't. You don't know what to ask. You don't even know what the next step is. And that frustrated me more than anything, because if you know me, I'm good at research. I can research the heck out of things. But what I wasn't good at is knowing what questions to ask, where to find things. You know, I didn't know those things, and it frustrated me to no end. So I created a group. I was like, this is the place it's going to be easy for us to figure out together, because many minds are better than one, and we can figure it out together. So I threw myself into that, which meant I wasn't showing up for my business. I wasn't putting my face out there. I was concentrating on this area. That was my bad. That was my mistake. But I've learned from it. I've learned from it. So now I'm showing up for my business. I'm showing up consistently. I'm building my brand. I'm building my brand. Okay. So now I open the doors and I say, come in, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about what this is and what we're building. Okay. Let's get back to the conversation. Small daily actions add up. One post doesn't change your business. 30 posts will. One live doesn't change your business. 10 lives will. Meaning, hit that button, friends. Hit that button. Do not let that little voice in your head that tells you, I don't even like the way that I sound. I'm not good at this. Like I'm still learning. I don't even know how to put this stuff together or create during a live. Like this is hard. Yep. But you're building a business and people are going to want to be there from the beginning. People are going to want to be there from the beginning. I bet you right now that you can think of a creator that you have watched for a long time and you were there at the beginning before they were who they are today, where they're recognized by so many more people. More people recognize them. More people know who they are. Okay? But they had a beginning. They had a time where in their career, in their business building, where nobody knew who they were. But they showed up and they were consistent and people watched. Okay? So bring people into your journey. Bring people into your journey because you know what? Perfection is not attainable. There's no such thing as doing it perfect. So don't even look at that. Don't let that be your guide. If you're doing better today than you were yesterday, last week, last year, let me tell you something, that matters. So keep showing up. Success is not one big moment. It's small, repeated actions. Okay? I'm going to let my cat figure out what the heck she wants to do because she just came up over my shoulder. All right, my note takers, ready? Focus on 1 to 2 tasks per day. Knock out 1 or 2 things per day for your business. Keep it simple and stack small wins. Small daily tasks beat big occasional ones, okay? Small things turn into big things, okay? Small things turn into big things. So just do it, a daily task. That's building a habit, okay? Showing up builds confidence. The more you do, the easier it gets. The more you talk, the more natural it feels. The more you post, the less you overthink it, okay? Confidence is not something you wait for. Confidence is something you build, okay? That's a practice. You have to practice these things. Practice daily. Even doing short videos. Do short videos that you don't even post. Like get in front of the camera. See what angle you like. See if you like your background. You know, have a script. Get used to the way that you talk. You know, get used to the things that you say because people pick up on that. People pick up on your little sayings. They pick up on the things that you always say. Like if I say TTP, I think people know what that means. If I say hoot hoot, people know what that means, right? So understand that people, when they watch you, they pick up on your things that you do normally, things that you just are natural at, and they look for you. So you need to be consistent. I used to write notes to remind myself to share when I was live. It helps. It does help. It does help to have little notes. It's a reminder. It reminds your brain because a lot of us are scattered. I have squirrels. That's why I have to make sure that the things that are currently around me don't distract me. Like before I even hit like the live button and stuff, I'm like, okay, what do I need to do? But you guys, if you watch me, you see me at the beginning, especially if you come on here, because that doesn't go to YouTube. But you hear me say, okay, I need to take this away. It's a distraction. Oh, this is going to distract me. Oh, I heard that. Like, I have to take away all distractions because it will squirrel me. But a lot of us need reminders. So good point. Good point. Put up notes for yourself. It does help. Okay. And trust me, hearing your own voice, I know that I'm used to hearing my own voice because I have to hear Kevin edit my videos. So he has to repeat over and over certain sections as he's fine tuning stuff. At first, it was like, oh, I don't want to hear myself. But now it's not a big deal. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bring up anything in me, actually. So you will get used to it. You will get used to hearing your own voice. And guess what? Your voice is yours. Embrace who you are as a person. You are beautifully and wonderfully made. Not everybody's going to like you. That's okay. That's okay. We're not meant to be liked by everybody, just like we're not meant to like everybody. That's not what we're asked to do. We're asked to be kind, respectful, and just see us as all doing the best that we can out here in this world. Okay? We're all doing the best that we can. So don't expect perfection from anybody else. Okay? And don't expect perfection from you, but you are beautifully, wonderfully made on purpose with a purpose. So you will find your people. You will find those that enjoy watching you. And that's where it's at, guys. That's where it's at. Don't worry about the masses. Focus on the few. Focus on the few because people will enjoy you. Okay? Oh my God. Okay, so this is basically what I was saying, okay? Don't judge yourself too early. Allow yourself to be new. Allow yourself to be new. You don't get confident, then start. You start and then get confident. Okay? Let me tell you, you don't just show up out of nowhere and this is natural to you. No. But if you don't start somewhere, you're not building that habit. You're not building that confidence. Okay? That matters. Confidence leads to visibility. Confident people show up more. So as you're getting that new habit, as you're building that habit of hitting that live button, guys, you can go live for 30 minutes. You can go live cleaning up your workspace. Let people into the behind the scenes. Let people in step by step, little by little. Don't say things like, I can't. Don't say things like, I'm not like so-and-so. Don't say things like, but I can't compete with. Guys, you're right in all of those aspects. Why does it have to be about somebody else? Why can't it just be about you? Let it be about you. How are you going to show up? What are you going to do? If you want to be different than people because that's something that you want to be, like, I'm not like so-and-so, show up like your weird self. You will be liked by people. You will be liked by people. The only thing that I ask that you do is you be authentic to you. Be authentic to yourself. Do not try to show up like somebody else. Don't be a character out here. Be real, because that's sustainable, that's consistent, that's authentic, and that's what attracts people. Okay, so be true to who you are, and you will find your people. Confident people speak clearly. Confident people sell more. When you're confident, you stop hiding. Guys, don't hide. Don't hide. There may be things that you don't particularly like about yourself. Fix that. Love yourself. You are so beautiful, lovable, kind, thoughtful. Okay? Stop talking to yourself in a way that you wouldn't talk to your loved ones. You wouldn't say the things that you say to yourself to your child. You wouldn't say the things that you say to yourself to your best friend. Stop it. Okay? When that little voice starts, you tell it to go away. You tell it to go somewhere else, and you speak truth to that little voice. I don't like my voice. It's the only one you have. Your voice is the only one you have. I don't like the way I look. What don't you like about the way you look? Do you comb your hair? Do you brush your teeth? Can you fix those things? Then do that. How you look is not going to change. Somebody's not going to like the way that you look. That's okay. That doesn't matter. All of those things don't matter. If you see some of the people that show up on here authentically as themselves, looking a hot mess, whatever it is, you don't look at that anymore. You don't see that anymore. You see that beautiful soul showing up because they have something on their heart to share. They have a platform that they want to talk to. Okay, so stop telling yourself things that aren't true. Confidence doesn't make you visible. It gives you the courage to be visible. Okay? For those of you that are wreath makers, for those of you that are selling stuff here on this social media world, online, visibility leads to sales. How does visibility create sales? People can't buy what they don't see. People need to know you exist. People need to see your product multiple times. People need to see your stuff multiple times. People need to trust you. See, no, trust, then buy. And you have to do it multiple times. People don't see from one post. They don't, because the algorithms, you can't control the algorithms. You just have to play in the algorithm game. Okay? Even if you have a website, for those that have a website, if nobody sees it, nobody buys. So when somebody tells me I have a website, how are you getting people to your website? How do people know that your website exists? Do you have commercials? Do you have ads? Like, how do people even know you're there? That's real. Talk about real talk. That's real talk. How do people know you exist if you're not putting yourself out there? If nobody clicks, nothing happens. So you need to be mindful of where you're putting your things. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, Irene says. Isn't that true? And how many times have you seen people that are beautiful on the outside, but man, they open up their mouths and that's just ugly coming out, right? So build that confidence. Don't say things that aren't true about yourself. Traffic. So you have to drive traffic. Social media will lead to your website. If you have a website, you have to put yourself out there on social media, because how else are people going to find your website? Talk about your listings. Show your products in use. Invite people to click. Guys, if you Google Claudia's door decor, because I Google myself all the time. If you Google Claudia's door decor, you will see every single place I am. All my social media show up. My Etsy shop shows up. I have a domain, claudiasdoordecor.com. That leads people to my Etsy. I have not built my website yet because I'm not driving my sales yet. When I start seeing my sales be driven by me, I will build my website. But right now, people can go search on Etsy, put in rooster wreath, and my wreath will show up in the rooster wreath, because that's how that works. Etsy is a search engine. Pinterest is a search engine. Okay? People are looking to buy things when they go to those sites. Okay? If you have a website, how are people going to find you? They don't know to look at your website. They don't know that because they don't see you. It's important, okay? Visibility creates opportunity, and opportunity creates sales. You don't need to be perfect. You need repeated effort. For my perfectionists out here, perfect slows you down. Perfect makes you hesitate. Perfect keeps you stuck. Being done, doing something, even if it's not perfect, builds momentum. Okay? If you're looking to be perfect, that builds delay. That builds delay because you're trying to have everything be perfect. Everything needs to look perfect. Everything needs to be perfect. Guys, for the longest time, I didn't build my email list because I had a lot of questions about how I'm going to email people. Right, Wendy? She says, I say this out loud. Repeat successful events. Anything that you do that's successful, repeat it. Absolutely. Absolutely. If you stopped yourself from putting yourself out there based on all the things that you didn't know, then you wouldn't do anything, right? So I stopped myself from creating an Etsy list because I'm like, or an email list, because I was like, what are people going to want to see? What are people going to want to read? What are people going to click on? Am I going to get click through? So when I tell you this has been months in the working, like 6 months of me asking myself questions and me processing that. Because here's the thing, I want to show up in a way that the community receives it well. Because if I'm putting all of this effort in and it's not being received the way that it's intended, it can fall flat, right? They just want to see you and what you're up to. Yes, Wendy, yes. So I finally created an email list, and what worked for me in my head was it needed to be two separate email lists. One for people that are learning in the wreath maker community, one for wreath makers specifically, that talks about all the things that I'm learning, all the things that have worked for me, and that I finally figured out what to ask and all of those things. So those are my wreath makers. And then the other one is for customers, showing them the designs that I'm making, the designs that I've just put into my shop, where I'm going to be locally. If I'm at a show or event, that's for my customers, right? You can join both lists. I'm not telling you to join one or the other. If you want to be part of both, that's fine. But if you're a customer, do you really want to know the behind the scenes of wreath making? Or what it takes to be a wreath maker? You know what I mean? So I have two separate lists. But because of my perfectionist tendencies, it took me a long time to put myself out there. But lo and behold, a week ago I launched my email list, and I currently have 14 subscribers. I have 13 people that haven't clicked all the way through, because you have to have a confirmation email that says you do confirm to receive emails, because otherwise I'm not compliant. There is rules to emails. Like, I can't have your email unless you give it to me, and I can't send you emails unless you confirm. So click through all the way, look at your email, look at your spam, wherever it ends up, and click through whenever you sign up for somebody's email list. Okay? And here's the other thing. If you are a person that likes short emails or informative emails or whatever, like you don't have a long time to read through emails, like I had to think about those things. So instead of giving you a whole list of things to go places, I actually have separate places that you can click through to go to, so that you don't have to be reading all of it in one email. So that's going to help, right? So these are all the things that I worked through. So that's just me sharing the one thing that perfectionism kept me from doing. So for my perfecters, okay, this is what's actionable. Set a time limit for something that you're working on. Post something in 10 minutes. Say, I'm going to post this Set a time limit. You're only going to take 10 minutes to do this. Stop redoing things over and over. Stop redoing things over and over. Accept good enough. This is good enough for right now. This is good enough. Your audience doesn't need perfect. They need you. Okay? Your business grows in layers, not leaps. So growth starts slow at first. Then it stacks. Then it compounds. You don't see results immediately. You see results eventually. So everything that you're doing now builds results for you. So anything that you do, you start doing it not perfect, but showing up matters. So start slow. Know that it's a slow grow, okay? And that you're learning as you go. Keep going through quiet phases, okay? You're going to take time and be intentional. Trust the process. You're going to do it not perfectly. You're not going to do it perfectly. You're just going to do it. Whatever it is, you're just going to do it. Look at progress over time, okay? You start and then you build on that start. Think of it as building a house. I talk about this all the time, okay? You have to prepare the ground. I mean, we have in our neighborhood, we have somebody building a house on a steep hill. When I tell you that they went down with it, like they built down, like there was explosives and stuff like that to break up the rock that they built down. Like all of these things are preparation for the house that's going to be built, right? So you have to prepare the ground, prepare the foundation, prepare the walls, prepare how you want everything to be, all the compartments within that house. Like all of this takes time. All of this takes time. It's preparation. It's building it strong. It's building it sound. It's making sure that you're building something that's going to withstand the rough storms that come through, because they're going to come through. So you need to have it built the right way. The other analogy that I often give, it's like birthing a child. You think you're ready to be a parent, but there is so much learning to do. Like you can read all the books in the world that have been written, but until you go through it yourself, it's a learning process. You're figuring out a human being that can't talk back to you and can't tell you what it needs. That's building a business. That's building a business, okay? You need to figure this out as you go and as you grow, okay? You're building something. You're not chasing something. And consistency compounds quietly. You won't see it right away, but it's working in the background. Every post, every live, every effort adds up. One day you'll look up and say, wait, something is working. Consistency is not flashy. It's powerful. It's powerful. It's helping you build the habits that you need to build your business. Okay? So, does anybody have anything to add to the consistency? You know, is that something that you struggle with? Is it something that you've learned that you need to do better, that you need to build better habits, that you need to tell yourself things differently? Because I'm telling you, this is something that I struggled with. So that's why I think it's important to talk about it. Okay? Now we're going to tap into the I don't feel like it. Let's talk about a real problem, not knowing what to do, but not feeling like doing it. So you know what to do, but man, you don't feel like it because it's work, guys. It's work. It takes a lot to do what we do. You cannot wait for motivation. You cannot wait for energy. You can't wait for the right moment. You can't wait until you feel ready. You delay starting You talk yourself out of it. You prioritize comfort over action. Guys, these are a way that takes you in a different direction than what you're trying to build. Okay? You can't wait for these things. That is why surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals that are headed in the same direction that you are on days that are hard for you, the things that you've been doing, the work that it's taken your feelings have taken a beating because you're like, I'm exhausted. I feel like I'm stuck. I don't know if this is going to work. You know, all of those things. If you have like-minded people that you're surrounded with, you have people that understand this. You have people that have been there, done that, know what it's like. It's like having a gym buddy. You know, you decide with somebody else that you're going to be consistent going to the gym. And then you wake up one morning and you just don't feel like going, but this person's your accountability partner and they're like, no, you're going anyway. We said we were going to do this and we're going to do it. We all need that. We all need that because it is hard and it is work. I will, Marisol. It'll be over on my YouTube. Absolutely. So here's the truth. If you wait until you feel like it, you will not be consistent. You will not be consistent if you wait until you feel like it. Okay? Be mindful of that. Okay? You don't wake up and decide if you feel like going to work. You go because you already decided it. Your mindset matters more than you think it does. Okay? How you talk about things, how you feel about things. If you talk about things in a positive sense, in a I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to figure it out sense, you will be successful. You will be successful. You'll ask the right questions. You'll ask the right questions. You will seek the knowledge that you crave. You will look for people that are doing the thing that you want to do because that's wise. That's wisdom. That's wisdom. Okay? Don't look at other people as your competition. Look at other people as if they can do it, that means you can do it too. Okay? Because there's enough room out here for every single one of us. Okay? Why do people fall off or fall out? Why isn't it working for everybody? Because of the amount of work it takes. Because we can't focus on the way we feel. We have to focus on what the main goal is. If you want this to be sustainable for you and your family, if you want to be financially sustainable doing this for you and your family, you can't wait till you feel like it. You cannot wait till you feel like it, okay? So what do we do? Okay, these are the actionable fixes. Decide your action before the day starts. When all that negative stuff starts crowding your head, okay, by you telling yourself, I don't have time, I don't have the energy, I don't know what to do. By doing all those things consistently, yeah, you're not going to show up for your business. You're not going to show up for your business. But if you start thinking about how am I going to open the doors to my business today? What am I going to do to open the doors to my business today? How am I going to show up for my business today? That's a different mindset. So you're deciding that first thing every morning. First thing every morning. How am I going to show up for myself today? For my business. For my business. Okay? Remove the option to skip. Don't put off for tomorrow what you can get done today, even if it's 10 minutes, even if you can only give it 10 minutes. Don't put it off till tomorrow. Because that is a bad habit. That's a bad habit. Don't put it off till tomorrow. If it needs to be done today, do it today. Do it today. If you've watched any of the Real Talk interviews that I have done with other creators, they will tell you the things that they've had to do even when they don't feel like it. They will tell you exactly what it took for them to get up and over that hump. And they're successful. They're successful. They've been doing this a long time. Okay? But they pivot when things don't work. They learn from their mistakes. Okay? And then they move forward stronger, more confident, and they show up for their businesses. Okay? You have to lower that bar. You have to lower that bar. If you can't show up and do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, then do A for 5 minutes, B for 5 minutes. Think about it. Think about what that thing is that you're trying to get done. That all counts towards momentum forward, but don't skip it. Don't skip a day. Okay? Start before you think. In other words, move forward before you think about it too much, because you can overthink yourself out of doing whatever it is that you thought about doing. So start before you think, before you overthink. Okay? Your countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, is important. Guys, if you don't know what you're going to do, how do you start? How do you start? You have to have a plan. You have to have a go-to item that you can get started with. And if it's as simple as what I said to you, how am I going to open my doors today to my business? Because even if you don't have a brick and mortar somewhere some people can go, you still have to open your doors somehow, some way, so people know you exist. People have to know you exist. Okay? And I watch a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of podcasts. A lot of people that are wiser have shared their knowledge through experience, have done the thing. And one of my go-to people is Mel Robbins. Mel Robbins had, from a really low place, had to pick herself out of getting out of bed, because the debt in her life had piled up so much. Getting out of bed, there was no motivation. But she came out with a book called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you haven't heard it, haven't listened to it, haven't read it, let me tell you something. If you take anything away from this, Mel Robbins, she's a firecracker, but she gives it to you the way that you need to hear it so that you can be motivated. She is a get your butt up, stop making excuses, and let's do this thing. Okay? Wendy, I know. She's like, you got me hooked on Mel, and you're welcome, because let me tell you something. Some of us need to hear it that way. Some of us need to hear, get out of your own freaking way and let's do this thing. So if you're hearing it here for the first time, Mel Robbins will motivate you. Okay, you focus on starting, not finishing, and you do it messy. Show up messy. Do it even when you don't know what you're doing. Okay, show up messy. It's okay. You will get there. But who you surround yourself with, and their mindset becomes your mindset. You want to surround yourself with those that are doing the thing that you want to do. You do. You want to surround yourself with the people that are doing the things that you want to do. The people that are encouraging, the people that are saying, hey, if I can do it, you can do it. Okay? That's what you need. You don't need to feel like it. You need to do it anyway. Feelings are fleeting, my loves. Feelings are fleeting. You may not feel like you want to do it right now, but if you take one step, if you take one action, that's better than it was. You keep moving forward. You keep moving to the next level. You keep growing. You surround yourself with people that you can talk about your business with. That matters. Okay? People that want to see you win. Okay? That matters. All right, so everybody heard me on this? Do it even if you don't feel like it. Okay, whatever it is, fill in the blank, whatever you're struggling with, whatever you're trying to build. You don't feel like opening up your Etsy because you've heard They take all my money. They do all of this. I don't know how to ship. I'm sorry, I'm changing my voice because that was the voice in my head. Man, I am so grateful that I opened my Etsy. I am so grateful that that platform exists, because here's the thing. They bring you customers, because I don't care who you are. If you're in business, you're going to be spending some kind of overhead on your business. If you think of what you're doing on Etsy with the fees and everything else, if you think about what they do for you, they take care of your taxes. They take care of all of that. They make you legit, okay? Because they're not only vetting you, they protect you as the seller, they protect your customer. So why wouldn't you put yourself on Etsy? If you want to talk to me about it, my DMs are open to you. We can talk about it, okay? All right. Now let's talk about selling. Let's switch it up. This is something a lot of us avoid, okay? Because we don't want to sound too salesy. It makes us feel some kind of ick. We don't want to be pushy. Guys, you're a business. What the heck are you talking about? What are you in business for if you're not selling? Okay? What are you in business for if you're not selling? Okay? You avoid it because of fear of rejection, fear of being annoying, fear of being judged, lack of confidence, not knowing what to say, feeling awkward, thinking people aren't interested. So what do? We post and we hope. How's that working for you? Hope is not a strategy. Hope is not a strategy. If a store never told you what was for sale, would you buy anything? No. So what selling actually is, you're explaining your product. You're showing value. You're repeating your message. You're answering questions. You're making it easy to buy. Does that change your mind a little bit about selling or talking about what you have to offer? Does that change your mind at all, hearing those things out loud? So here's what you can do. Talk about your product daily. Say the price clearly. Make sure people know what you're offering, okay? Show how it's used. How would somebody use what you're making? How would that show up? How would they use it? Explain who it's for. Because I know that if I show an item that I've made, for example, Mother's Day is coming up, okay? So I'm working a lot with florals. I know that buying your mom a bouquet of flowers will last a week the most, 2 if you take care of it. And then it withers away. But with my wreath, with something that you buy from me, you have it for as long as you take care of it. So you have a faux floral wreath, okay, that your mom will look at the door and always think about how thoughtful it was that you knew I love sunflowers, so you got me a wreath of sunflowers. Okay? If you have a mom who loves roosters, and she's got a kitchen that's full of the red gingham and roosters, and you're like, you know what, I'm going to get mom a wreath to hang from her pantry door. She will love it. That's the gift that keeps on giving. And since it's indoors, that thing ain't going anywhere. That thing will last for as long as your mom lives. You know what I mean? So it's things like that. You need to explain those things to people. People need to think about it that way, okay? You have to repeat your message multiple times. People have to hear something over and over and over before it sticks. Okay? They have to hear it repeatedly before it sticks. And invite a sale directly. Invite a sale directly. Hey, I'm Claudia from Claudia's Door Decor. I have an Etsy store that you're welcome to shop at. If there's something that you see that maybe you like the design, but it's not exactly what you're looking for, I have a custom button. Just because it's custom doesn't mean it's going to be expensive. Custom just means it's something that you need, that you're going to like, that is specifically for you. But if people don't hear you say that, they don't know that they can shop that way with you, right? So you have to put yourself out there repeatedly, okay? People are not seeing everything you post. They're just not. It's how algorithms work. If you like something that you're seeing on any social media platform and you're not hitting that like button on that person's, like, this is what I picture people doing whenever they're scrolling. Doom scrolling, right? That's what it's called. When they're just sitting here scrolling. Do you stop and hit that like button? At any point when you watch somebody's reel or video, you're like, ooh, share. This person will like that. Ooh, share. I think my mom would like that wreath. Ooh, share. You know what? My best friend, that's exactly what she's been looking for. Does anybody do that? Do you do that? Do you like things when you're scrolling? Do you hit like? Do you tap on the screen when somebody's like? Do you do all the things that you can do to promote those that you like seeing? Because if you're not doing that for others, how can you expect it done for you? Please support others in a way that you want to be supported, because it does come back around. It does come back around. So be who you want others to be for you to others. Support well. Talk about people well. Share what you enjoy about them. Share that you care about them, because that matters in today's world where so many things are combating the good. You see more evil, controversy, things that blow things up. That gets shared. Those things get shared. We need to combat those things with positivity. We need to combat those things with the light. People that are showing light in the world. People who are a bright light, that want us, that care enough to see others be successful and do good things. Share those things out. Be that kind of person. You know, be the type of person that supports the good that people are putting out there. Because all of those things, all of those likes, all of those shares, all of those comments, all of the things that you're doing for others, it's going to come back at you. It will. I promise. That's just how it works. That's just how it works. Be the good in the world. Be the good in the world, okay? Back to selling. If you don't talk about it, it won't sell. If people don't know that you're out here making beautiful things that they're looking for, like when you go to a box store, and this is talking to everybody, when you go to a box store and you're looking at what's available that's mass produced, is that something that attracts you, or do you buy it because that's what's available? That's what's available. That's what you see. Or are you one of the people that actually says, you know what? I know where people make handmade things, and I know that that handmade thing that's either the same price as the thing that I saw in the store is going to be made better. It's going to be higher quality. It's going to last me longer. Handmade things, one-of-a-kind things, those things have more value than the things that are mass-produced. It's a thoughtful thing. It's things that you have to take time to do. You know, I get that gift cards are great. Okay, so I get that gift cards are great. But how much more does a gift mean when that person took the time to buy something or have something made or make something for you that made them think of you. Again, gift cards are not a bad thing. For example, if my husband gave me a gift card to the places that I shop for my supplies, I'm not going to turn it down, and it means the world to me. But I'm talking about like the gift givers, the people that like to, like, that's their love language. That's how they show somebody that they care about them, is that they will gift them a thoughtful gift, something that took them time to figure out, right? Be the person where people shop. How are they going to know to shop with you, that you're the person that can make that unique thing, if they don't know that you do that, right? I had a friend that would shop with me saying that, you're my go-to person because anything that I think of, you do. You make it exactly the way that I thought of it in my head. That's a blessing, right? You're blessed in your giftedness, and somebody sees that blessing, and then you can it, like the blessing just keeps going. It just keeps going, right? Telling you, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. I've done my research. I have done my research. And like I said, I'm coming from a place where I've learned how to do it the wrong way. So I'm talking to myself as much as I am talking to you. Okay? I'm talking to myself as much as I'm talking to you. So this is my accountability. This is how I'm going to show up different for my business. I'm opening my door every day. I'm opening the doors to my business every day to show up the way that I need to show up for my business. Okay. So now we're going to shift gears a little bit. We're going to talk about business versus hobby. Okay. This one might hit a little because you have to ask yourself this. Are you building a business, or are you still treating your business, the business that you said you wanted to build, like a hobby? Because there is a difference. Are you building a business, or is this a hobby? Okay. A hobby you do when you feel like it. A business, you show up even when you don't feel like it. Okay. A hobby, there's a lot of emotion attached to it. A business is structured. You have structure. You have tasks that you need to do. There are things that you need to take care of on the daily. Okay? A hobby is inconsistent, but a business is repeatable. Okay? A hobby is random. A business is planned. A hobby is hopeful. Hopeful for that sale at the craft show. Hopeful that somebody would like what you're making. A business is intentional. It's intentional. People know that you have a business. People know that you're selling items. People know that you're making things that are going to be for people's homes. Here's a hard question, and it's a question only you can answer. If your paycheck depended on this, would you show up differently? If your paycheck depended on this, would you show up differently? For me, the answer is yes. So, because I work a full-time job, here it's 8 to 4, typically 9 to 5, but here it's 8 to 4. I had to think of my business in a way that I needed to set hours. I don't know if you guys watch any inspirational people online, but my scroll is filled with inspiration. People that have done it far better, far wiser, all of those things. That's what I listen to, okay? 9 to 5 builds a life. 5 to 9 builds your dream. Okay? So, when you work your 9 to 5, you're doing that for somebody else. When you're doing your 5 to 9, you're building it for yourself. So think about that. So set work hours. Set the hours that you're going to work on your business. Not a biz when you have things, a custom order takes up time. When you have things a custom order takes up time. Yes, custom orders take up time. If you let the customer lead the conversation, if you lead the conversation, it actually doesn't take that much time. We can talk more about that. Okay, so actionable things. Set work hours. Decide your posting schedule. When are you going to post? What are you going to post about? What's going to get engagement? How are people going to engage? Are people seeing your post? Now, mind you, remember I told you that algorithm is funky. You can post 7 things in one day and people won't see them. Crazy, I know, but you, as the person watching, will help your feed if you like the things, if you hit like on the things that you want to see. Those are the things that are going to show up in your feed. So if you're just scrolling and not hitting like on anything, that's not doing anything for your feed. Okay? You need to treat your business like an appointment, which means that you don't reschedule. You don't reschedule, you show up for it, you do what you need to do, and you move about your day. Okay? You follow through. You follow through on the things that you were going to say. If you keep lying to yourself, if you tell yourself you're going to do something and then you don't do it, if you're lying to yourself, how do you expect other people to believe when you're going to show up, what you're going to do, all of those things, if you can't even keep the appointments you make with yourself? That's a problem. I'm talking from experience. So actually, you know what? Bring it on. Bring on the conversations. Because I'm not speaking from a place of a know-it-all at all. I'm learning this too. I've made my mistakes. Okay, I don't know it all, and I'm grateful I don't know it all. And I know there are people that know so much more than me, but there are also people that don't know as much as I do, so we can have a good old conversation about it, okay? You need to create routines, okay? You create routines. You build structure for your business. You create routines and you build structure. You cannot expect business results from a hobby habit. If you are in the habit, if you are in a business mindset, but the way that you're showing up is hobby actions, like you are treating it like a hobby and not a business, what do you think your results are going to be? Your results are not going to be what you want them to be. They're just not. You have to show up in a business mindset. And your habits have to change. Your habits have to change. Let's talk about the not so fun work. Let's talk about the part that nobody wants to do. Posting consistently. I did a whole segment and talked about all the different platforms. All the platforms are specific to what they're looking for from you as a business. So if you're posting one thing and then taking that one thing and then posting it across all your platforms and wondering why things aren't working, each platform performs differently. So that one post isn't going to fit all the different areas, okay? Going live. For the longest time, I just started going live on Facebook. For the longest time, I wouldn't go live on Facebook because I didn't like the silence. I thought that I was going to struggle with the silence because if people aren't engaging with you, because let's face it, Facebook gets more engagement on the replay than it does on a live. That's just the way it goes. So going live on Facebook was like pulling teeth, right? I always liked going live on this platform. Why? Because I could play music. But guess what? If I'm playing music on TikTok, I'm not going to be able to use this live on the other platforms to share, hey, I go live. Right? So you can't share it anywhere else. You can't take it anywhere else. So going live becomes exhausting. How the heck am I going to go live? you'll see that a lot of creators actually go live on multiple platforms at the same time. They go live on multiple platforms. They like TikTok because of the engagement. Okay. They like Facebook because of the replay opportunities. They like YouTube because YouTube, you're on there forever. Okay. But having to think about going live each time, like here I am live on TikTok. Then I have to go live on Facebook. Oh, and then I have to go live on YouTube. What? So a lot of people have figured out that going live on multiple platforms at the same time create that see, know, and trust factor. So, but Claudia, I only have one device. So you choose the platform that you go live on, and then you share it to your other platforms. For example, Real Talk. I go live on TikTok because that's where I get the most engagement. But then I take this and I put it into YouTube. And then from YouTube, I then share that I put it on YouTube on Facebook. Do you see what I'm talking about? So going live. People avoid writing descriptions. Can I get an amen? Writing descriptions on your product to get that sale, to get that person to find that item, to write those descriptions in a way that search engine optimization, SEO, will capture that when somebody types in whatever it is, because you have to think like a customer, right? You have to put the title in your item so that when somebody is searching blankety blank blank, your thing pops up. If you don't know how to do SEO, you're spinning your wheels. So this is why people avoid these things, okay? Learning SEO, you need to learn SEO, search engine optimization. Because again, you're doing all the right things. You're doing all the things that you should do. But if you're not doing the things right, it's not going anywhere. Right, Marisol? Yeah, you just recently learned how important it is. Absolutely. Talking on camera. These are things people avoid. Talking on camera. This is the fear factor. This is the thing people fear. But how are you thinking about it? Do you talk to family members on FaceTime? Do you do those things already? Do you talk to people on Zoom calls? Are you okay putting your face on a camera? Well, no. I don't like looking at myself. I criticize myself. I don't like the way that I look. Like all of those negative things that are keeping you from doing the thing. Guys, talking on camera, the only way to get used to it is by doing it. You have to do it to get used to it. And if you're not doing it, then you're never going to get to that next step. You're just not. So stop avoiding it. The group that I created, this is how we talk. We talk like a big Zoom call. It's everybody's on their cameras. Everybody can see. That gets you used to seeing yourself, because then you can translate it over to a live. The only thing is you forget sometimes that people can't talk back to you because you're so used to having a back and forth conversation. But because I needed to learn and I needed to teach others, that's the group that I created. So you have real-time conversations so that you can get used to being on camera. It's important. Guys, the only way to learn these things is by doing it, okay? People avoid selling. People don't want to be salesy. People don't want to put themselves out there in a way that rejection could be real. And let me tell you something. You're going to be rejected 1,000 times before somebody says, hey, I want that. That's just the reality of it. So what? Keep moving forward. Keep pushing forward. Somebody will find you the more you show up, and they will find the items that you sell. Okay? Because let me tell you something. That giftedness that was given to you to create beautiful things for people's homes, that giftedness, that creativity, that came from your creator. You were made on purpose for a purpose. So stop hiding under a rock. Stop letting this world tell you things that's not true. Okay, those things are not true. Not everybody is going to love what you do, but there's going to be a whole group of people that do. But you need to show up, and you need to show up confident in the fact that, so what if this person doesn't like it? So what if that person doesn't like it? So what if this person doesn't like it? Somebody will. Just keep showing up, okay? Don't avoid this part. Repeating your content. People have to see things multiple times before it clicks, before it becomes oh, I know that person. They do blah, blah, blah. I know that person. This is what they do. This is what they sell. This is how they show up, okay? You have to repeat it. Think of yourself as a commercial. You have to see a commercial so many times before, or listening to songs, learning lyrics to songs. How many songs do you remember the lyrics to because you listened to it over? People have to see things multiple times before it clicks, okay? People avoid practicing. This goes back to my bow days, the days that I would literally be so frustrated because I couldn't get a bow to look right. Oh my word. Is anybody with me? Has there been any time where you were trying to figure out a technique and you could not figure it out? And everybody keeps telling you, it takes practice, but you're tired of hearing that? Guys, it takes practice. It's fine motor skills. It's being able to connect your eye from what you see to your brain that does to your action to your hands that do the thing. It takes practice. So you have to do something over and over again before it works. Think about a basketball player learning those jump shots, or learning the shots that the 3-point shots, the shots that they have to learn that exact action. And the only way they can do it is by repeating it, adjusting what they're doing, thinking about it differently. You have to practice. So don't avoid practice. Just know it's going to take time and it's going to take practice. Okay. The other thing people try to avoid is showing up when it's quiet. When people aren't liking your stuff, when people aren't sharing your stuff, when the algorithm is so infuriating because it's not sharing you out. It's not letting people see you. It's not letting people find you. Okay? Keep showing up. Keep showing. Eventually things will just start to happen. You have to have momentum. You have to have momentum. Think of a snowball. Think of a snowball. So you make the snowball, okay? But you want to make it into a snowman. What do you do with that snowball to build that snowball? You roll it around in the snow. And you keep rolling around so it keeps collecting snow. And then eventually you have the base of your snowman, right? So you have to create that momentum, and it's going to start small. But the only way to create that momentum is by showing up. So you've got to show up. And here's the truth. What you avoid controls your growth. So if you avoid posting consistently, going live, writing descriptions, learning SEO, talking on camera, selling, repeating content, practicing, fixing mistakes, showing up when it's quiet. If you let all of that stuff be stuff that you avoid, that controls your growth. You're not going to grow if you avoid all those things. You have to face the things that you struggle with and surround yourself in the right communities that are going to push you to get to that next thing. Because if you're not growing, if you're not doing the hard things, you're going to watch people soar. You may have started your business at the same time, but you're going to see them be more successful because they're doing the things. They're not overthinking them. Okay? The part you keep skipping is the part that's keeping you stuck. Ooh. The part you keep sticking is the part that's keeping you stuck. Stop skipping it. So these are the actionable items. Identify one thing that you avoid. Do it for 5 minutes daily. Practice instead of avoiding. Expect it to feel uncomfortable and build that repetition. Build that repetition and track your effort. Why do you think that when I saw I was 50 followers away from 3K on Facebook, I posted it? I think that was at the beginning of April. And we're what? Almost at the end of April, and I got those 50 more. So now I'm at 3K. I cannot tell you how long I was stuck in the 2.9K, like years. I was stuck in the 2.9K, but I'm at 3K now. Okay. And I'm going to celebrate those small wins. I'm going to celebrate those small wins big because it makes a difference. It means I'm getting out there. It means people are seeing me now. Okay. So you've got to do the things that you're avoiding in order to get to the next step, right? Heck yeah, says Angel. Heck yeah. Okay. You need to keep showing up and track your success. You don't get better by avoiding something. You get better by doing it. Okay. And growth lives in the uncomfortable. Growth lives there. You need to get uncomfortable in order to grow, because it's not all easy, but it is figure outable. You can figure it out. Okay. All right. So how are we doing over here? Are we feeling those moments of let's do this thing? Let's be better than we were. Let's learn. Let's be successful. Let's build those successful habits. Because that's where I'm at. I promise you, doing the research that I do for these real talks, I do it out of a place of things that I need to learn for myself. Okay? So how do we actually fix this? Okay, we're going to pick one habit, we're going to make it small, and we're going to attach it to our day. And we're going to do it at the same time, and we're going to track it. And we're not going to skip it. We're not going to skip it. And if we do, we're not going to skip it twice. If we have to skip it for whatever reason, we're not going to skip it twice. Okay? We're going to keep going when it's boring. And we're going to stay consistent even when we don't see the results yet. That's how you build better habits. Okay? So what do you do along the same time that you're drinking your coffee? What happens during that time? Are you doom scrolling? Are you just going through your social media? Instead of doom scrolling, when you see somebody say good morning or have a good morning post, say good morning to them. If somebody asks a question, several people ask questions that are thought-provoking. Answer that question. Hit that like button, answer that question. Spend that time that you're drinking your coffee or your tea, for my friends that don't drink coffee. Spend that time that you would normally just doom scroll. Spend that time celebrating or engaging with somebody else putting themselves out there and doing the things that we're learning to do for ourselves. You know, Angel says usually she's posting. But see, that's consistent. That's building a consistent pattern. Okay? But I'm going to tell you there are things that we're going to expect during this time because it's not a habit yet. You're going to have resistance. You're going to have doubt. You're going to have low engagement. And you're going to have slow growth. But everybody starts somewhere. Everybody has a beginning to what they're building. Everything that is anything started somewhere. So realize that if you don't start, how do you expect to build? Okay, and if you've been telling yourself for a long time, I'm not ready because of this, this, and this, like okay, I'm trying to think back 3 years ago when I would hear, these are the excuses that I would hear. I don't have a dedicated space. I don't have a craft room. I don't have a work studio. I don't have those things. Do you have a table that you sit at, or do you have an area that you were already creating at, even without those things? Do you have a wall behind you that will become your backdrop? If you want to do it, where there's a will, there's a way. Okay? If you want to, you will. But I just took that excuse from you, didn't I? All the I don't haves, those are excuses. Those are things that you've told yourself that made your excuse okay. Cut it out. Stop. That is not a reason not to put yourself out there. Everybody has a beginning, okay? We didn't all start with a craft room, okay? Thank you for that. I appreciate that, my friend, for the confetti. Everybody has a beginning, okay? Everybody started somewhere. But if you have a place where you're already designing, where you're already creating stuff, that's all you need. That's all you need to start, okay? All of these things, the resistance, the doubt, the low engagement, the slow growth, all the excuses, all the things, that doesn't mean it's not working, okay? That doesn't mean it's not working. You don't go to the gym. Remember our gym analogy for 1 week and expect to be buff, expect to be built, expect to be cut up, expect to be trimmer. That's not how it works. It works with consistency, with showing up, with pivoting. You take what works and you build on what works. If it doesn't work, then you shift and you change and you do it different. Doesn't mean the idea was bad, just the execution didn't work. So keep growing it, okay? So the actions for this, at least 1 post a day, 1 product you talk about daily. It takes you less than 5 minutes to do it, and you do it for 7 days. That's 1 weekend. You're doing it for 1 week, and you see what happens. Okay? If nothing happened, that's fine. Do it for the 2nd week. But keep growing from that. Keep building on that. Again, you want to be a successful creator. It takes doing things in order to be successful, okay? And one of them is changing your habits. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your habits. If you don't have good habits, you cannot achieve your goals. So you have to look at your habits. You have to look at what you're currently doing. And if it's not building your business, then you're not doing what needs to be done in order to build, okay? Taking a deep breath because it's been a lot and I've shared a lot, but it comes from a place of this is what I need. This is what I need. I haven't mastered it. I haven't. And I'm always learning and growing and doing the next thing in order to build the business that I have fallen in love with. I cannot tell you how much joy it brings me to look around my workshop and remember what it was 3 years ago and what it is today. But it was a daily build. It was a daily choice. It was nothing before it became something, okay? But you have to be intentional and you have to show up for yourself and you have to tell yourself better things than you are telling yourself. Because if you say you can't do whatever it is, then it's true. You can't do it because you've already told yourself that. But if instead you tell yourself, I don't have this figured out, but I want to. I want to figure this out. I want to learn how to do this because that's what's going to build you. You may not be able to do it today, but there was also a time where you didn't know how to make a wreath or you didn't know how to make a centerpiece. There was a time where you didn't know how to do the thing that you currently know how to do. That's the same with your business. It's exactly the same with your business. Okay? So listen to your friend Claudia, who wants you to do the thing and do it well. And listen to her when she tells you that who you surround yourself with, who you spend time with, matters. It matters. If you don't have support in your IRL in real life, then how are you going to build what you're building? And there are people out here who don't have that support, that are constantly criticized. Do you really need to buy another fill in the blank? When I tell you that it doesn't have to be that way for you, that you can have a support system if you're willing to put in that effort, if you're willing to put yourself out there, if you're looking for that community that is of like-minded people that will help you get to that next step, regardless of where it is. There are so many groups out there, guys. There are so many people doing this and doing it well. I have some listed in my link, okay, in my link tree. I have the Crafted Collab Network. That's my group. We meet on Discord. Discord is a gaming app, but it's used for businesses. Lots of businesses use them. And that's where I've created the community that I'm building. But I also belong to a community. I belong to the Double Troublemakers. They are led by Courtney of Southern Owls and Lindsay of Tarnation Creation. They decided to build a group because they wanted to be the group that they needed to build a community that is like-minded like them. And I'm part of that community. I'm a troublemaker. But I have those listed in my links. I have an affiliate link to the Double Troublemakers. If you join up through my link, you're actually supporting my business too. And you can also learn, if you join the group, how to be an affiliate also, so that you can be benefited, so people can support your group. And in this group, there are so many things that you can learn. There's design aspects, there's business aspects, and you get a discount on shopping. Creek Road Designs, anybody heard of them? creekroad.net. You get a 20% discount to creekroad.net. You get a 20% discount to Courtney's for either her wreaths or her kits. You also get 20% off Lindsay's Tarnation Creation, and she makes custom designs. So 20% off your custom design by joining a group that you can learn and see and do all the things. Come on, guys. Come on. So if you have questions about any of this, feel free to ask me. I'm happy to answer. But I do believe more than anything else that if you are not building a business and creating habits to build that business and surrounding yourself with people who are supporting you in your efforts, it's going to be a hard, long road. I'm just saying. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me for this week's Real Talk. Tracy, I saw you come in. Hi, friend. Hi, friend. I want you guys to feel inspired today. I want you to know that what you tell yourself matters. And because one habit done consistently, it can change everything. It really can change everything for you. You don't need more ideas. You need better habits. Okay, so again, this will be reposted on my YouTube channel so that you can go back and watch at your leisure. Just put it on in the background. Let it play while you're doing chores around the house or whatever it is. While you're crafting, you can listen to this, okay? I hope today gave you something to think about. not just something to hear, but something to actually take you to that next level, something that you can apply, okay? Because at the end of the day, this is not about having all the right ideas. It's about building the right habits. And I'm right there with you, working on showing up, working on being consistent, working on doing the things even when I don't feel like it. So if you take anything from today, take this. You don't need to do everything. You just need to do one thing consistently. Okay? Next week on Real Talk, we're talking about something I know so many of us need. Building a community without the drama. And we'll be back at our regular time on Friday next week. And I hope you'll join me for that one. And if you're traveling to any of the events this weekend, there's a derby going on in Mississippi. I want to wish you safe travels. Have fun, enjoy the people around you, and just soak it all in. I'll be around on social media, so make sure you like, follow, subscribe, all the things so we can stay connected. And until next time, keep showing up, keep learning, and keep creating a life and business that you love. Because the life you want is built by the habits you choose every single day. Thanks, friends. Thanks, Tim. That's so sweet. And I'll catch you next week on Friday.